Welcome to Who You Know. My name is Michael Sublet. I'm with Oddmost Pizza. This is Arthur Meeker. He's with Extreme Graphics. And you are Tami Levin. See? I said it 100 times.
You really tried.
Remember I told you I can't get out of my own way? That's what I mean. God, this is killing me. This is what takes we only get to talk for 5 minutes. I mean, you're going to get down to this. We're going to be like, well, it was nice that you joined us. You know? We'll just add some vocabulary in there for you, you know? You know how they make those videos now where the mouth is moving, the person's just in there, like, going to give you this big old smile.
The next video that Ashley's going to make is going to be all the blooper ones.
Oh, nice.
Oh, she's saving them all.
Do you have any good questions?
Oh, so you want to move right on into this? Okay.
We have enough, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
so I'm really glad to have you on the show. I've known you for a few years now, and it seems like every time I turn around, you're involved in this or you're involved in that or you're at a group. I know that you're a public speaker. Do you want to share kind of what you do and what you talk about? What are some of the things that you share about?
A lot of times I will speak on networking and how to do that effectively. Mm-hmm. It's more than about just showing up at a greeters or a luncheon and saying your name. Another thing I talk about is practicing self-care and how we in this society are very busy and burning the candle at both ends, and we're very active, and that it's really important to take time to rejuvenate. And when you do that, you're more productive when you work and you're more present for your relationships. So those are pretty much the main things.
What is like a target audience for your speaking, your public speaking?
Mostly I have done speaking with women, women's luncheons, chamber events, Oregon conferences for women. I spoke there. Oh, okay. So I do coach men as well, but it seems that the speaking engagements that have opened up for me have been in that area of just speaking to women.
Nice. So with your speaking, what is your preferred part that you like to do? Is there anything like your signature speech or your signature talk? What is that?
Oh gosh.
Top 40 is fine.
Top 40 is fine. It's about taking care of yourself and making time for that rejuvenating. I guess that would be my signature thing that I talk about. And the importance of being authentic and networking. I mean, those are my two.
Those are your big ones.
Those are my two big ones. Yeah.
I think that taking care of yourself is very important, and having the time for yourself. Mike and I were just talking about that this morning, about taking a little bit of time out to, get off your phone in the morning. Like the first thing when you wake up, I wake up really early. I don't look at my phone the first hour of the day because I don't want to start my day off, with seeing something negative or something like that, and I'll spiral my day, but also sit in gratitude.
Yes.
That type of thing. So
absolutely.
that's great. That's fantastic that you teach people that. And so tell me about your coaching. You're also a business coach and you're a life coach.
I am. Yes,
Let's start with the business coach. Why business coaching?
That just opened up for me, which I've been really excited about. I had some business people come to me and just ask me for some help in with their employees. And I mean, I didn't decide I just want to be a coach someday. It came to me. And the first opportunity that I had was a woman who is a business owner in the Salem area, and she had some issues with some employees and her sales were down, and she had observed the difference I was making in the employment where I was, and she asked me for some assistance, and so I started working with her with her numbers and with her employees and their sales skills and that kind of thing. And she was so pleased with the results that she shared with some other business owners about me, and they ended up interviewing me and hiring me as well. So it really started out that way. The life coaching happens when I'm working individually with the employees or the owner, because business is affected by your personal mindset, your personal beliefs, and that kind of thing. And so I really haven't had an experience where I only talk about business. it always goes to personal beliefs and mindset obstacles that we have that get in the way of us performing and increasing our business. So they really kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, I like that. That's a really good message. What about on your personal coaching? Why? Tell us about, like, what do you specialize in that? Is there an area that you specialize in that you prefer? Is it the woman coaching that you prefer to do? And why? I know a little history about you, that you were in the corporate world. And so you went from corporate world into the coaching and working with people individually. Is there anything that brought you to that, or?
Well,
Is there a calling, or?
Well, the way that it just came to me, I feel made it a calling for me. I would say with the life coaching, the personal coaching, a lot of what I do has a spiritual component to it as well. So people will come to me and they're having difficulty in a relationship, or whether that's at work or it's at home or something like that. I don't do like marriage counseling, coaching, or that kind of thing. You know, I work with people one-on-one, but that's a lot where the personal stuff comes in. And the specialization, I would say, is like in communication and learning how to express appreciation and value for the person that you are with. There is a lot of people just have a difficult time expressing their feelings and being honest about what's really going on, what their truth is. And so I help them to be able to step forward and do that.
Yeah. Do you have any questions, Mike?
No, I just think it's great. I think when you find people that are really good at that, and when people like resonate to what you do and how you do it, and they kind of find you, like you were saying, how you help a business out, you help the person out, and then just kind of trickles in. After that, people go, wow, that just made a huge impact. I find that the core of that is listening. And so my first thought was, you must be a great listener, you know, and you're able to absorb what's going on. But it's nice that you can transition that into some really good advice and helping people bridge some gaps and, you know, create paths, you know. So it must be nice to have that. I mean, I've been dealing with employees my whole life, but, you know, I'm dealing with a certain age group where they're still like, you know, what do I call them? Youthful, enthusiastic people, where, you know, you're talking to them, but they're like, yeah, okay, let's go, you know. But, you know, you get past that and you start getting people that are into that and stuff. And I really found that the people that I've connected with that have evolved into what you're evolving into and stuff, and how that grows is there's an element of, first you're just kind of going, and then you kind of get educated, learn really about what you're doing, get very good at what you're doing. But that's when it kind of changes from doing all the talking to doing all the listening. And then you bridge those two gaps together, and you can really become a good mentor or something like that. I mean, Arthur and I have fantastic conversations for breakfast in the morning, you know, here and there. And it's a give and take, but he's a pretty good listener. So, and so I find that as we talk to people that do what you do, it's super important to have people out there that are a resource for that, you know. And so listening is probably one of your strengths, I'm guessing.
Yes, definitely. I've been told that I'm a very good listener.
Yes.
I've also been told that I have very intense eye contact, and so I try to.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah, no, that's
Such a
good.
good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago when you're networking with people, to have that eye contact and try to maintain that eye contact so that way that person feels like they're being heard.
Yes.
And so I know you and I have had conversations before, and you are a good listener. And that's what makes a really good coach. And, you know, with a coach, the biggest thing is most people have that information and their solutions in their own head. A good coach is the one that helps them develop that and brings it out of their head. And I think that's something that you do really well.
Oh, thank you.
So along with your coaching, you just got done. You work with the Keizer Chamber of Commerce, and you just did a really cool program. Do you want to share that program?
Sure. So it's called Co-Starters, and it is a 10-week program that is designed for small businesses that either have just started or have a few years in. It's also for people that have an idea and want to start a business. It goes from the very beginning of identifying who your ideal client is, what is the problem that you're going to solve for that client, helping you get clarity in your message to that ideal client, and then it takes you into the numbers and being able to figure out how much you need to sell in order to be profitable, what's your break-even point. It went through the importance of talking to a lawyer or an attorney and finding out what is the right framework for your business and business insurance, and being able to have your pitch, your elevator pitch, so to speak, for people. So it just sets this whole foundation for businesses to be successful. And I was privileged to be asked to be the facilitator of that program for the first time that it was brought to our area. We had 4 graduates in the program, and they had great things to say about the program and their experience, how it went step by step by step, and was broken down into little, bite-sized pieces so that they could implement and apply everything that they learned.
Super important.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience. I'm super glad that I had that.
I was so
opportunity.
excited because I was asked to come in as a guest speaker, a surprise guest speaker.
Yes.
And one of our other people that were on our podcast, Michelle Ashley, was going through that thing, and she didn't even know.
Right.
Tami didn't tell anybody that I was coming, and I thought that was such a great honor to come in and talk. And hopefully I'll get invited again sometime.
Absolutely.
But that was such a fun time. But
yes.
And that's really amazing, because I think in the small business world, so many people have a great idea, a great service, but they don't know how to do all the things that they need to do to have a successful business.
Right.
And especially right now with, we're not really in a recession, but we are. Right now, that is a really golden time for business coaches to help the small businesses out, because I think a lot of small businesses are hurting, and there is a stat out there that says 9 out of 10 small businesses fail. And so I think that is really important to have mentors and people to lean on and find, and have that specialty that can help them out and get through that. So that's really kudos to you for being out there for people.
Oh, well, thank you.
And especially working, and you do a lot of networking.
I do.
What are you all involved in? Let's hear that.
Well, I'm involved in very heavily in the Keizer Chamber of Commerce. I participate in the Keizer Network of Women, which is their, women's branch of the chamber. And that's everything that the Keizer Chamber does. I'm on the board as the secretary. So that's really where my focus is. I don't have any other networking groups or chambers that I'm involved in currently.
Well, I do know of one that you haven't mentioned yet, and Mike and I are going to go to it.
Oh.
On Fridays at lunch.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Toastmasters.
Toastmasters.
Yes. You're going to come too?
Yes.
Excellent.
We discovered that several weeks ago, that it's on both of our lists.
Excellent.
To do.
Yes.
I don't know that this week is going to happen tomorrow, but we are going to get our act together and our schedule together,
excellent.
And one or both of us will show up.
Well, that's great. Yes,
Yeah.
Toastmasters is something that I'm very excited to be a part of. I've been in it for about 4 years now, and the growth that I have had has not just been in public speaking, but in leadership as well. It works in both of those areas.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. What is it really? I mean, give us a rundown. What's it like to go to the meetings
sell
for
us on
Toastmasters?
Toastmasters. And go.
And sell our listeners.
Okay. What a meeting is like is there's a person who is the leader or the MC of the meeting. We take turns rotating roles, so it's not just the same person leading all the time. But the Toastmaster starts the meeting off, and then we have, and there was a theme that Toastmaster just chooses something that they want to have the focus of the meeting about. We have a couple of prepared speeches, people that have planned and organized and just, been practicing their speech. So we usually have 1 or 2 of those. And then we have an opportunity for impromptu speaking, and we call that table topics. The person who's in charge of that has several questions that they have thought of in advance, and you have no idea what they're going to ask you, and you have 1 to 2 minutes to respond or to answer the question. it is probably one of the most beneficial parts of Toastmasters, because you have customers that ask you questions, you have people in networking that ask you questions, and it just gives an opportunity to really think on your feet, to be able to organize your thoughts, and to respond in a way that is eloquent or intelligent, and you're not fumbling over your words and that kind of thing.
I find that one of the interesting parts about when you're a leader is, some people come and ask you questions. They expect you to have an answer in that moment. And I think it's interesting. So some people can think about it for 2 weeks. And they're like, kind of work through the process. And then they come to you and they ask you that same question. And they're like, and? You've got 5 seconds to answer. And so thinking on your feet is extremely important when you're a leader. And so that element of the Toastmasters sounds like it's a really fantastic tool that they have. That's really neat. It's when you're talking about business and how you're working with young business people and how to navigate that. I think it's interesting because most people think A to Z, and it's the middle 24 that really structure it correctly, and that's where all the questions are, because people have great ideas and stuff like that, and fantastic ideas, but that's got to be fun to be in the growing stages of all of that, putting that together. And so, sorry, back to Toastmasters. No, we can't wait to get into Toastmasters.
It reminds me of that improv show with Drew Carey, I think it was, where they give them a topic. Yeah, whose line is it?
Whose line is it?
And you have to classic. Yeah, that's kind of what that exercise. What you were talking about reminds me of that show. But I kind of like that.
So when you have the prepared speech, how long is usually? What are the parameters for that prepared speech? And how many speakers do you have a week, or is it like just one person a week that does their speech and people critique it or help them bridge things? How long is that speech?
Well, it can be anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes to 8 to 10 minutes. So the sections that we have are like, you can choose 4 to 6, 5 to 7, or 8 to 10. So any of those are appropriate. And we try to have at least two speakers every week. And if there's only one prepared speech, we have something called the hot seat speech, which is really like the impromptu speaking, but you have maybe 5 or 10 minutes to think about what you're going to say.
Yeah.
So we'll ask for a second speech for hot seat, and we are encouraged to always have a speech in your back pocket, so that when you get called on
one in your wheelhouse
at the last minute, that you have something that you can talk about. Yes.
Michael will be up there just laughing. He won't even be able to get it out. I can tell you right now.
Let me tell you about Wednesday, is what I would start. That'd be the beginning of my speech. Let me tell you about Monday.
Okay, now everybody turn around so I can't see your face. Or I'm going to face backwards.
Well, the thing that I like about Toastmasters is I'm really, if you give me an intimate group, we can joke around and we can laugh and all that stuff's really, really easy. But when it's structured and you have to stay within the guidelines in ways, and you have to have that, those elements of balance and all that, that's where I struggle. So I think the Toastmasters would be something that would help me refine those types of things. And make it more professional, be able to reach a different level of people understanding what I'm trying to get to and things like that. So that's why Toastmasters, I've got kind of a specific goal that I was hoping that Toastmasters would help me out personally with and stuff. And it's part of Arthur's journey. He's getting really good at this kind of stuff. So, I'm back here somewhere in the what do you call those, coattails?
Everybody is capable of doing everything. It's just developing your skills. And how do you develop your skills? It's training, and repeating everything that you do until that you know it. What is it, 66 days to form a habit or something like that. And I think that's I think everybody can do just about anything. They just have to take the time and do it and stick with it and repeat that. It was funny, we resonate on one of the things about improving 1% every day. So I know that you've put it out there on social media, that you've been working out and walking and stuff like that, and you increase that 1% every day. And I love that message. That's a great message
Thank you.
to put out there. That's fantastic. Do you have any other good messages for us?
Well, there's one thing I want to go back to if I can before I answer that. Is that okay?
See, she's
Something
entered
else?
my world.
Yes.
Please bounce around.
Yes.
Okay, well, something that I wanted to bring up, you mentioned critiquing in Toastmasters, and that's another part that is really important for anybody who's thinking about Toastmasters to know, and that is the feedback that we give. And it is one of the most beneficial parts of Toastmasters, because that's how we improve, is to get ideas from other people of how we can level up and improve our speaking. It is super scary, of course, to get up there and speak in front of people. However, our Toastmasters group, I don't know about other ones because I haven't been to other ones, but our Toastmasters group is just this really safe place to take the risk and to be courageous and get up there and, practice. Right? And the feedback is so wonderful. Even when there's something that you can improve on, the way that is communicated is what you might consider to improve or level up would be, use more of the stage when you're talking, or hold your eye contact with your audience just a little bit longer. Things like that. It's not a negative experience at all. And so then you walk away with something that you can apply for the next time that you speak, and to just really do better. And I'll tell you something else. The reason why I joined Toastmasters is because I joined BNI. And I was told as a new member I was going to have an opportunity to give a presentation about my business. And I was scared to death. And I had been told that Toastmasters could help me with that. So I joined and I put together a presentation, and I actually did it 3 different times in Toastmasters. My mentor in Toastmasters said, this is a lab for you to practice. So I gave the presentation, and they gave me some great feedback, and then I came back the next week and I did it with implementing that feedback, and they gave me more, really great on this, and here's one other thing that you could do. And so then by the time that I gave my presentation in BNI, my confidence level was up. I felt organized and prepared and ready. And it just made a huge difference.
I always felt like it was going to be like, like not Toastmasters, but other, times you practice, like the Gong Show or something, or like where they push the button, where you're out there speaking, and please, and so Toastmasters, I know that was the one element that I was excited about, was having that feedback, because I get beat up all the time. I mean, if you're in your company, you're trying to grow, and you're throwing ideas out there, and you're trying to figure out, which path you want to forge, and where you're going to put, whatever eggs you have into what baskets and stuff. And so you get beat up a lot, where people love to give you their opinion. I mean, I talk to anybody and go, you know what I would do? Like, well, what would you do? I get that a lot too. And people throw ideas at you and stuff like that. And so Toastmasters for me was going to be kind of a neat way of getting that positive feedback and critiquing and stuff to help do that, because everybody there is kind of in the same boat in a way of learning those types of things. And strength of the speaker is kind of a big deal for me. And
it's really fun. That's why I wanted to talk about a little bit about it, because not everybody is comfortable talking in front of groups of people.
Right.
And I've been involved in chambers and network groups and stuff for years now, and you can see people get up there and you could just see it on their face, and you can hear it in their voice, and it's really great. It's really great. Their voice cracks, and you can hear and you can see that uncomfortableness when people get up there. So that's why I really wanted to mention it too, is because I know that you're really big in that, and it really helps small businesses develop, especially if they have to talk, or anybody that wants to do public speaking. It's just a really good way. I remember over a year ago, I was involved in a mastermind group, and our first meeting was down in Arizona, and part of the very first workshop of the day was doing your public speaking, and we had 10 minutes to put together our pitch about our business. 10 minutes, and like a couple of the people I knew in the group, but I've never seen some of the other people there. And we're talking, they are high-level leaders and stuff like that. And it was really interesting, and it was mind-racking. but they also got to critique you when you got done with it. And so we're like, and I remember there was a couple people in there that they weren't very confident speakers at the time. And I just went through a presentation with a gal that was in the group with me a year and a half ago, and she spoke yesterday at a group, and she just leaps and bounds. Like she
Wow.
was so confident. But so I think getting trained is a very important thing, and Toastmasters is a good avenue for that. Let's go back to your coaching. Is there any coaching experience that you've had, like a success story that you could share with us?
I had a business that I was working with where their sales were not where they needed them to be making the amount of profit that they wanted. And they weren't really sure what was the cause of that. And when I start working with a business, I often will do a personality, like the Myers-Briggs test, to find out about the mix of the team that they have. And in this process, the other thing that we did is we started tracking the foot traffic that they had for their business. It was a retail business. And so they're tracking that, and we're doing this personality testing. And what we found in the tracking part was that Tuesday was Tuesday was the day that they had the most foot traffic, but it was the day that they had the lowest sales. And they actually had, before they realized that it was the day that they had the most foot traffic, they were going to close based on that they were not having any sales that day.
Most people tend to go towards that. Like, well, if my sales aren't there, why would I pay the labor? Why would I do this? Why would I do that? They're questioning all those things. So go ahead. So this is...
Yeah. So then we find out that it's the highest traffic day, and we looked at who was on the floor during that time, and that particular employee was an introvert, and just didn't engage with the customers, when they came in, was very reserved, was just only would answer the questions that were asked of them, and didn't really build a relationship, and build rapport and that kind of thing. And so what we did is we just changed who was on the floor and put that employee that was the introvert into a position that was more aligned with her strengths. And put someone on the floor that was more aligned with their strengths, and it made a humongous difference. So their sales obviously increased tremendously, and they didn't close on Tuesdays. So I feel like that was a real success story.
Yeah, that's a win.
And then can I share another one?
Oh, yeah.
So another one is one of the businesses that I was working with. She actually she had a hobby that she wanted to turn into a business. And she was making, felt like she was making good money, but she just really wanted to feel like it was a real business that she was doing. And so we started looking at her numbers, which I found that a lot of businesses don't know, small businesses, they don't really know what their numbers are, meaning they don't really know the amount of sales, they don't know their expenses, they don't know their profit margin, right? Like stuff like that. And so I started helping her track that information and started looking at making decisions based on the numbers rather than guesswork. And what we found was that her profit margin was very, very, very small, and she was working a ton of hours. She was buying and selling, reselling things, and she needed to increase what her price was on her different items. And of course, we often will have problems with seeing our value and being able to charge what we're worth. And so that was something that we worked through with her, and she ended up growing in that area, feeling more confident in that area, and charging what the value really was for those items. And within, I think it was several years ago, but I believe it was about 5 months, then she doubled her income.
Yeah, see,
that's good.
The
Great
value
success.
in people, that's a big one, because I think a lot of small business people that get into it, they don't want to cheat people, they don't want to charge too much. There's like, my time is never as important as the value of having a customer. That's something that I've seen in my world before. Is that I had a pizza operator that, he was in a very low budget franchise world, and he broke away from that. And then he's like, I don't understand how they can charge this much money over there for the same exact pizza. I'm charging a third of the cost for over here. And that comes down to how you value what you have. And if you need to make some adjustments for you to believe you have more value, then that's a different thing. But it's that confidence. It's just getting that turn there. So I think value is an interesting word, because I think when you're a small business person, there's so many factors that are working against that, that part of your psyche or whatever.
Yes.
You're like, well, I don't want to charge too much, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. To go in and then turn that around the way they think about certain things, and create value in different categories. The next thing you know, now they're very profitable. Man, that can change somebody's world.
Yes.
Just by doing that. That is a huge success story.
It was really exciting.
Yep, we're just gonna call that a win. So
I love that. A lot of people do suffer from imposter syndrome when it comes to and not valuing themselves.
Yeah.
But the other thing is customers suffer from that too. They don't value the business. They want to come in. They don't realize, like, hey, this person's in business to make money.
Yeah.
And they're entitled to a profit. And they're the ones that set their own value and their profit and their pricing and stuff like that. But there is a lot of people that don't value that too as a consumer, and that's a very frustrating thing for a business owner. And that's where when somebody says, "Oh, I can get something cheaper, or I can buy it here, I can get there," that's what really messes with the small business owner's mind, because they're like, "Well, am I too high? Am I, or whatever?" And so they're always wanting to make that work for them. And so I think that's really great that you can do that.
Thank you. Yeah, I think too, it speaks to the need to be able to communicate your value and why you have the price that you do. What really sets you apart and gives you that value that you are charging for. Because somebody else may be offering it for a lower price, but this is why I am worth XYZ. This is what sets me apart. This is what's different. This is how I bring value and what I bring to the table that makes me worth this amount.
Yeah, well, you can have one person come in and do like a little evaluation on you and try to encompass so much. And I'm amazed at how many business operators I know that will pivot, or they'll make a hard turn on something, because of just one person, because they're so fragile in that, when you're talking about that stuff, that it's just like, hey, well, this person came in, and they said that this is not right and this is not right, and it's like you just start buying into some of those things as well, and you got to kind of battle through that. It's when you talk about this stuff, it's amazing how there's so many different facets to this exact issue right here with value, and what people can do and how customers can dictate things they shouldn't be dictating.
Yeah, well, and I think it's very common for human beings to latch onto a negative comment versus the ones that are positive. So if there's 10 people in the room and 9 of them say, "Wow, you look really great. You got your hair cut and you're looking so spiffy today." And one person makes a comment about your gray hair or something like that. We latch onto that, right? Yeah. Instead of taking all of this positive. And so there's work that can be done in perspective and what it is where you're getting your sense of worth from, and what are you going to like meditate on? What are you going to be thinking on? Just the negative, or are you going to think on all of that positive feedback that you got?
It's just hard because there's a lot of structure when you grow up to all that stuff.
There is.
Everything in your life that has built you to where you're at now has made you stronger and weaker all at the same time in so many ways.
Yeah.
And I don't know, interesting.
Yeah, I was reminded of that yesterday during a meeting of a gal that she specializes in talking about the belief systems and stuff like that. And she was talking about that, and she gave a really good example of using herself at the very beginning. It was a true and false question. She gave 10 things, and they were all things that happened to her in her journey in life. And then she said, and at the end of it, she goes, these are all the things that gave me my limiting beliefs and the things that happened to me that I heard as a child and growing up. And so that's stuff that people, and that's why a really good coach is really good to help a business owner to get out of their own way sometimes and get on the right track and see the things that they don't see, because you know, all business owners, they have that mindset, you know, they got the best product in the world and they just don't know how to put it all together, or they best service. And so that's why a good coach like you can come in and help them get on the right track.
Thanks.
So, Michael?
Oh, I got lots of stuff.
Come on.
You know, back to Toastmasters.
Okay.
The thing about Toastmasters that I'm also looking forward to is the fact that, you know, as you can tell, I'm kind of squirrely. But it's in a conversation, in a speech setting, or in any kind of that, you know, that arena of you know, business. I also am searching for that, you know, for people to look at me like more serious, because I really know my stuff, and I really have I've been able to be involved in a lot of business at high level and part of think tanks and all these different things that I am in. But you listen to me speak or things like this, and you're like, he's so funny, or he's like, you know, it's like a more of a comedy thing, and people are like, oh God, he's got such great energy, he's so enthusiastic, la 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 la, right? But I've always been put in second place, because most people that are in business that want to get to that level, they need somebody that has that structure, and that they love the energy and the enthusiasm and the extroverted energy as far as that goes, but they tend to go towards somebody that they can go, you know what, I can build with this person, blah blah blah. They may not have that there. And so whenever I was in business, it was like I would build sales to here, and a structured person that they would want as a manager would go to here, and I was always evaluated in kind of that different thing, and I was never given the opportunity to get to that higher level unless I made it myself, which probably why I'm in business for myself. But when it comes to this new world, that's one of my battles, is to be respected as understanding, you know, that like I've got that structure. It may not look like it, really may not look like it, which we all know. But you know, when you get to know somebody, and that's probably why intimate settings are a little bit easier for me to communicate with, because of that reason. But so Toastmasters for me is to try to get me to a position of elevation where I could be respected for actually knowing what I'm doing without, you know, people just kind of passing it off as other things.
Your
you know,
communication
and so,
skills.
yeah, and so for me, that's super important to do that, and to get to a point where that's possible. You know, not only in like real life, but in my head. You know?
This really sounds funny, but when you're talking about your journey and stuff like that, and people, you know, respect that thing, it popped in my head, you doing your spreadsheets with a crayon for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, but it popped in my head. I just have to say that.
Exactly my point. We'll bring it back to, like, they talk about your eye contact and how they were saying, you know, like, you've got really strong eye contact and stuff. I have had to work from the other side where I'm hyper. And so my eyes, I can't slow down and focus and have good eye contact. And so I'll like look around, and people, you know, that really has a huge effect on people too. So I am working from the other side of the equation where I'm learning how important it is to keep eye contact. And so I struggle with that side of it, you know. So when you have great eye contact, I'm like, I'm so jealous of that. It's like, I really wish I had eye contact, that, you know, because for me, I have really good eye contact now. I didn't before, but I have better I have better eye contact now, but I have to distract myself in order to do that. Because like my wife last night, she was like talking about how the hot tub issue, we have an issue with the hot tub. She's going on her phone and she's kind of getting all these issues out, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. And I know that she's going, he never listens to me. He just doesn't listen to me. And I went out and did all the stuff that she had told me about the hot tub and got the hot tub fixed. I came back and I got it all fixed. And she's like, well, what was it? So I broke it all down. And she's like, oh, all right. So when we're in with other people, even though I'm really squirrely, I pay attention to everything, everything. But it's hard when you can't convey that. I guess is the message I was trying to say is like when you have great eye contact, you convey that you are really engaged. And even though I am very engaged, it just doesn't seem like that. And so another reason why I think Toastmasters would be good, because I go to the networks of Salem, which is a fantastic group, but I can't sit still. I mean, people look at my energy and go, good Lord. You know, good Lord, what is, these guys are like, you know, it's like on my own, like,
Because
comedy.
he hovers around the coffee pot.
Oh. So, you know, so it's interesting, but yeah,
That's where I first met you at, was Network
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
Networks of Salem, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you were in networks as well?
Well,
No,
she
I
stopped
came as
in
a guest. I came as a guest.
She didn't stay, which is sad. But I remembered her, and I reached out to you. And so, but because you left a lasting memory or whatever I want to say, an image. Impression, there you go. That's the word I was looking for. And so I reached out to Tami about it. So what's next? What are you going to do? Do you got any plans? Just grow your coaching business, and you're going to do more stuff with the chamber, or what? Let's hear future stuff.
Okay,
What
I
do you
have
wanna
a couple of things. I'm going to be leading or facilitating Leadership Keizer again this year. It'll be starting in January. So I just finished co-starters, getting ready to start ramping up for promoting and getting that Leadership Keizer off the ground. It's going to start in January this year, or by, the beginning of next year. So I'm getting that organized and set up. And then the other thing is I have recently met and just really built this great relationship with a lady named Carmen Franklin, who is a senior accountant. And we have been collaborating to help businesses together. And what that looks like is offering a full service package to mid-sized businesses for her to be able to come in and help them to make sure that they have all their standard operating procedures done, to streamline their bookkeeping, to make sure that they have their job descriptions in order and that kind of thing. And then I will also be helping with the management and the culture and the communication and the valuing of employees and that kind of thing. So cool. I'm really excited about this collaboration, and we have one client that we're working with together right now, and it's been just this great, I hesitate to use the word partnership because we're not partners, but this collaboration together with this business, and we are getting ready to just start promoting that with to other businesses and getting more businesses on board.
I think it's important you look at it like a partnership. I think you're not co-owner, but you're definitely a partner. I think that's because when you get into a business and invest your time and energy the way you're investing it, and you're trying to really breathe life into the structure of the business to make it successful, I think you're pretty much, that's kind of what you become, I'd imagine, because you really got to dive into it.
Yeah.
So is there a, do you work with businesses 10 employees less, 10 to 50, 50 to 100? I mean, where is kind of your sweet spot?
Well, I would say probably 10 to 60-ish, somewhere in there, employees.
Go ahead.
I have not stopped talking. I mean, I really haven't stopped.
I feel the same during our podcast that I talk so much. And so I always have to remember, oh yeah, I have to let Mike talk.
Oh, no, Mike's done enough talking, but maybe Tami. Tami, you're up. What do you got for us?
Oh, what do I...
No, I'm just kidding.
If people want to reach out to you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, my website is TamiLevinCoaching.com. So that's a great way to get information. They can also text me or call me. I'm totally up for that. Or email Tami@TamiLevinCoaching.com. But everything that they would want to know and how to be able to book a consultation. I do complimentary consultations for people. That's a 30-minute time frame where we can get to know each other and find out what it is that they are struggling with at the moment, what it is that they would like to have some help with, and for me to let them know if that's something I have experience in and that I could benefit them.
Well, I have to say that the Keizer Chamber has gone through some changes and things like that. So having somebody in there that, I'm glad to see you're in there. You know, we have a location over in Keizer, and
Yes.
Mandy, you know, Mandy is
Yes.
very involved in the community and stuff. And so Chamber's always a big part of that. And so it's nice to have that leadership there. So on a side note, so with Keizer and some of these other passion projects you have, is there anything outside of the business structure that you enjoy? You know,
Well,
tell us something like, you know, you're an avid skeet shooter or something. You know, I don't know. You know, is there anything outside of business that where, you know, you gotta spread your wings?
From?
Arthur's like, what?
Well, I don't really have any specific hobbies or anything like that. My favorite thing to do is in the summer to lay in the sun. I mean, I just
High
love
five.
to soak up the rays. That's my favorite thing to do.
So does that include driving around in that really fancy red Mustang with the top down?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's good, son.
I know. She has a beautiful Mustang.
Thank
and,
you.
And it's convertible, and I can just picture you just cruising.
Yeah. You know, there's something else though that I have started doing, and that is participating in creating art. So actually, one of the gals in the cohort for co-starters, she has art. Let's see, AJL Art Studio Connections 101 is the name of her business.
Oh, wow.
And she creates a space for people to be able to come in and create art. And that is something that I always felt I have no creativity in my body, right? And it's something that I am a recovering perfectionist. And art is not something that you can be perfect at. Mm-mm. And so when she introduced me to the idea and invited me to come over and have some sessions with her, I discovered that it was a way for me to practice my not being a perfectionist and to develop some creativity. It's in there somewhere, right? And just need to have an outlet to let it out. And it's also very peaceful and calm. And it's something that I have discovered that I enjoy. And it's good for me to set time aside to be able to do that. So I wouldn't call it a hobby, but it is something that I've introduced into my life that is benefiting me.
So Mike has an interesting hobby that you might not know about. He does soap.
Really?
Not yet.
He's getting there. He's getting there.
Like you, I didn't really have a hobby. Driving
like
around the
to share
Mustang
it.
for me, I resonate with that.
Okay.
But I never had a hobby because business has always been my hobby. Whenever I've got involved in anything, it usually ends up turning into a business because, you know, I'm always thinking like pathways and, you know, how can we, if we do this, if we do that, if we could just fit into here and this is our, you know, that kind of stuff. Can't get away from that. Well, I'm starting to try to find a hobby.
Well, you
and
make
I've tried.
knives. You do
Make knives.
Well, I'm getting there.
But
yeah.
you do,
Right now I make
he's done
shivs.
that
We've all
already,
discussed
but
this.
Now he's going over to the stove.
Well, JK, you know, I mean, Josh Neverready, I've taken his class a couple times. We did our
nice.
25th anniversary there because I thought that was like so far out of everybody's wheelhouse. I thought it'd be a really good bonding thing for our company. So for our 25th anniversary, all the franchisees and stuff went in there and did that.
Wow.
But it sparked something in me. I was like, wow, I could do this. Like this is nice. I mean, it was so, for me, it was so relaxing. I'm just not really used to that kind of stuff. The only place I get that is I like to scuba dive. And so when I get under the water in a completely different atmosphere and your body just is like so still, so calm. So now I went and did the knife and the hammering the steel and I'm like, wow, I walked out of there and I just felt like it's
Wow.
you know, so I started getting involved in that and then we moved, and so I've got to build a shed to put all my stuff in first. But then we got some soap stuff. And what I mean we got some soap stuff, we bought some significant soap stuff on an auction.
Oh,
Because
wow.
I mentioned to my wife, hey, you know what, soap would be kind of cool. Yeah, soap would be kind of cool. So here we are. So I will have a bustling soap. I mean, if you like good soap, I'm telling you right now, I will be your contact.
It will be a menu item. Beer, pizza, and soap.
There we
Nice.
go. There we go.
Nice.
I can just see that right now.
They're rapid fire questions.
Oh no.
It's fun.
So just yes or no?
No, you'll see.
Okay.
So coffee or tea to start your day? Coffee or tea to start your day? Which do you prefer?
I prefer Celsius energy drinks.
Okay.
Wow. Well, that's a good one. Book that changed your life.
The 5 a.m. Club.
I like that. I read that one. Favorite guilty pleasure, TV show or movie?
I don't watch either.
Okay. Go-to karaoke song.
Lean on Me.
One word that your friends would use to describe you.
Enthusiastic.
If you could instantly master one new skill, what would it be?
Instantly master one new skill. That's a hard one. Darts.
Darts.
Really?
Awesome. I
like
love
that.
it. I don't want to be around when you practice.
Yeah, that's a.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Beach.
Love it. Who inspires you most right now?
Michael Clark.
Oh, yeah. Morning person or a night owl?
Morning.
Hallelujah. What's one thing on your bucket list that you haven't done yet?
Ride in a hot air balloon.
Oh.
Ooh. That's one of the things. I've got 3 things I have a hard time imagining doing, and that's one of them. I've got some friends that went to Turkey. My business partner went to Turkey, and they did a hot air balloon across that, and it was just
my
spectacular.
goodness.
They had like 80 to 90 balloons in the air,
Wow.
and it was, they're all different. Oh, it was spectacular. But yeah, that bungee jumping are the 2, and hang gliding are the 3.
Bungee jumping?
I can jump out of a plane, no problem.
Really?
Yep, I can go 100 feet under the water, no problem.
Wow.
But I don't know what it is, but a hot air balloon, I would love to do that.
But you've been very unique with your answers. Thank you.
Oh, good.
I love that. Throwing little curveballs out there on the answers. So absolutely cool.
Tammy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And Arthur, he keeps bringing us amazing people that I have somehow never connected with, but have always had connections and stuff. So it's nice to get to know you, a little bit. And it's exciting to see what you're doing, and I hope it grows.
Thank you.
So, and one of these days I may bump into you at a chamber meeting, but I have a
Excellent.
feeling we're going to be bumping into each other at
Yes,
the.
at Toastmasters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing you
Yeah,
there.
thanks for coming on. Thanks for saying yes.
Yes.